IVM.
Hey everybody, welcome to a very special episode of the Geek Fruit Podcast. My name is Tejas, and this week I have Dinkar with me. What's up, man?
Nothing much, man. How are you?
I'm great.
I'm also great.
This is the sound of two people who have no idea what this episode is going to be like. But
True.
that's...
Wait, listen.
Would you say...
Do you hear that, audience? They don't know what this episode's going to be like either.
Would you say that that's true for most of our episodes?
Exactly.
But we do come in prepared for something. Some things we don't. Sometimes we like to just get in here and just say, hey, dragons.
Sometimes we prepare and then ignore our preparation. But today we did none of those things. We did just walk in and say, dragons.
Love it. I love that you can just come and say, f***ing dragons.
Dragons.
Okay, why dragons?
When did you first meet a dragon, Tejas?
I think have I ever really met... oh yeah, I'll tell you. When I was in Singapore, they have...
Komodos?
No, even... Komodos, no. Well, I've seen a Komodo dragon. No, but I'm talking about, or like not Singapore. Maybe it was in Hong Kong. But they have those little Chinese dragons, those guys who stand underneath those big floats.
Right.
That was an impressive dragon.
A paper dragon.
Then there's Golden Dragon Restaurant, Cow Gully.
Great one.
In Dubai, Karama.
Yeah.
Cow
Gully? Was that what it was called?
People told me that way after the fact.
I've never heard it called that
know.
ever. I didn't know Cow Gully was a thing until I came
and all that
to...
shit was KF's Jolly.
Yeah, I know exactly where you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. So
great restaurant, Golden Dragon, especially because of its sign. Its sign always stood out.
So good.
And it existed for ages.
Yeah. I think, is it still there? I can't remember.
Is there a
now.
Golden Dragon everywhere? Is my question. Not the same one.
There's a Golden Dragon. So I was speaking to Mally, the singer-songwriter, and she said that she used to go, she used to go to a Golden Dragon in Chennai when she was growing up.
Exactly, because Golden Dragon is like the default name. Like the default name for South Indian restaurants is something Sagar,
correct?
Or like Ram Krishna,
correct?
Or and etc.
Ram Krishna
there needs
is
to be a Sagar or a Sai in there or get out. Then you might as well just do like Chinese.
Well, technically one of my favorites is Coffee House in Pune. But anyway.
But it's not part of the same ilk.
Ram Krishna is the Ricky Bobby of of titles, though. Anyway.
So golden dragons everywhere. Did China invent dragons?
No, I believe they're European folklore. And maybe Chinese, I suppose.
And do you think they have a lot to do with dinosaurs?
I think they definitely do have something to do with it. But I think it's folklore because... actually, how would they know what was
folklore.
recorded information saying, oh, dinosaurs look like that? We can't name our folk legends after that. But it's essentially a scaly beast with wings. I think that's the most important factor. That it's not just
There's two
a
important
gigantic...
factors.
Well, obviously one is that they breathe fire.
Yeah.
And the second one is that they have... scaly wings.
Correct.
And a scaly exterior. So, and the dragons have been, mythical beasts. We're just talking out of our ass.
Well, I am looking it up as we speak. So they appear in the folklore of many cultures around the world. Isn't that curious?
It's curious that they are not present at all in Indian culture. I think it's because we invented the spaceship before anybody else
That's
did.
true. Yeah, there are no dragons in Indian culture, I suppose. Though we do have like giant serpents.
We have giant snakes. We're into that stuff. We're into snakes. We're into
we don't have things that breathe fire, crucially.
But we did have a Garuda, which is like a griffin type vulture.
Yes, I suppose so. It's a giant eagle.
It's a giant eagle, which is like kind of a griffin, I suppose.
Yeah.
So we had some of that shit.
Dragon-like creatures appear in virtually all cultures across the globe. But scholars dispute where the idea of a dragon originates from.
I always thought it was like a medieval European thing.
It does seem like that. Dragons, the creatures that would appear on maps, and in uncharted areas, they would say, "Here be serpents,"
something
or
like
"Here
that.
be dragons," or "Here be monsters," something like that.
Yeah.
That was the name of a band of mine in college.
What?
Here be monsters.
Off.
It's a great band.
Are
great
you
name.
serious?
I swear.
I learn something every day. I swear. Here be serpents?
It was called Here Be Monsters because in the band name discussion, I said, what if we were, I brought up the idea of like, hey... Oh my God, you're convulsing. I brought up the story of how they'd have that inscription on maps, and I remembered it as "Here be monsters." And we went with that. We found out later that it might be "Here be serpents" or whatever.
But it's cool. It's fine. You made your own. You made your own thing.
It was a very hipster, indie band.
Does it still work in naming conventions? What's the most popular type of band name right now? There's it's very like something the something is
still popular. Like Cage the Elephant.
Cage the Elephant, Fame the Band.
The Killers.
You the Two.
You the Two. Love that band.
So there are plenty of those.
Yeah.
I think it would still work.
It could still
work. It's an Imagine Dragons type. Oh yuck! I hate that.
Terrible.
Yeah,
I don't think I knew Imagine Dragons existed at that point.
Yeah,
perhaps they didn't actually.
No, I think that name is not really. I mean, it's apparently an anagram for something that they won't.
Speaking of imagining dragons, a lot of people in pop culture have. And that's what we're talking about.
Great. We're talking about our favorite dragons.
Yes.
What are your favorite dragons?
So many of them.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you the first thing that comes to mind.
What's the first dragon that comes to mind, indeed? Probably Smaug?
Smaug, I would say, a legendary dragon. Among dragon folk. And not just in his latest Benedict Cumberbatch.
No, I'm talking about The Hobbit, the book,
exactly.
Right? When you were kids.
Yeah.
With Lonely Mountain and everything. Smaug is a prominent character in that game.
Yeah, what I love is that he's not a straight out good-hearted dragon or evil dragon or even a creature.
He's a greedy dragon. That's what he is.
He's a greedy dragon. It's a great trait for a dragon to have. But that brings me to when I first met a dragon. Was essentially in a folklore tale that I suppose is a version of The Hobbit, but basically about a dragon that would hoard gold.
Okay, what is this?
It's an old children's tale, I suppose, but basically the story is of a dragon who would hoard gold.
Is that a characteristic trait of dragons?
I believe it might be one of them, that they love gold.
So I think that they have been stereotyped, right? Because since then we have seen many iterations of dragons.
Dragons are gold diggers, is what we're saying.
Yeah, but they've seen many iterations of dragons who have become much friendlier dragons. But let's still talk about this greedy dragon. So
I believe the greedy dragon would live in a cave and just keep hoarding gold until it hoarded so much gold that it couldn't get out of the cave, so it died.
But that's exactly like Smaug.
Yes, exactly. So I believe The Hobbit probably took some inspiration from there.
I think it preceded the idea that, people who are obsessed with, like, say, the One Ring in the Lord of the Rings, that they are so, it's a besotted item,
Lord the Rings would be a cool band.
Lord the Rings.
Lord the Rings.
Like Lord.
With Lord, yes, of course.
And that other band, The Rings.
The Rings.
Would be great. Tell me this. Which came first? Did he wrote Lord of the Rings first or he wrote The Hobbit first? I think he wrote Lord of the Rings.
Oh, I thought he wrote The Hobbit first. And then
he wrote it as a children's book.
Exactly. He wrote it as a children's book and then I have so many more ideas about this world.
Yeah. So I think
this is a very
Smaug,
uneducated guess on my part.
Maybe. I'm not apparently clear. Oh, Hobbit definitely came first. Okay, our producer Shlok confirms that.
That's an educated correction.
I love that. Smaug is greedy because he wants to keep all the gold.
Yeah.
Gollum wants to have the ring. Everybody wants the ring. Yeah. So I think the adult version of a dragon who loves gold is like the men of the world and
a leprechaun who wants to keep a ring.
All creatures. Whoever comes in contact with the ring, if they're weak-hearted, they can't stand its. They cannot resist.
Maybe Tolkien just went like, "Why am I stereotyping dragons when everybody
is
can
pretty
be
much
greedy?"
Yeah. Greed. Is that the moral of Lord of the Rings, or is it hope, or is it what's the?
There's multiple morals, I think, because there's so many characters and there's so many arcs. But greed is definitely like the key thing, because the entire thing is based on the idea that the reason Frodo is the hero is because he's the one person who's not greedy for the ring. Almost, exactly.
Sam is, I'd say, the MVP of that story.
Yeah, the purist, actually. That's true.
Yeah.
But as a team, they manage to do what they do because they don't care about the ring the way other people care about the ring.
This is
despite some hiccups along the way.
Yes, Boromir. Anyway, so Greedy Dragon.
Yeah.
Just to come back to it.
Great band
name, Greedy Dragon. Anyway,
a Chinese restaurant. Hear me out.
Yes,
a buffet Chinese restaurant.
Greedy Dragon.
The Greedy
All
Dragon.
You can eat.
All you can
at
eat.
Greedy Dragon.
Exactly.
That's what they. Oh shit! I think we're stumbling on it. Anyway, so okay, so first iteration of dragons are this. Did you ever read anything in like Enid Blyton or something?
I'm sure that there might have been goblins and shit like that. She had goblins. There might have been a story about a dragon in there.
Yeah.
She's a very dragon-friendly person.
She is a racist, and it's she, right?
Enid
is a she, right?
Yeah, she's a she.
Cool.
She is a racist. Unfortunately.
It's fine.
Yeah,
fine. So is Richard Scarry, and they abridged all of his books.
Yeah, I believe they have. They don't reprint Enid Blyton books that mention gollywogs and stuff anymore.
Gollywogs, yeah. That's racist. That's why. Anyway, moving on.
Okay. Tell us about your first memory of a dragon.
I think my first memories are Lord of the Rings related. Probably Harry Potter as well. Because we were kids.
Harry Potter,
we read,
Lord of the Rings.
Tolkien and so Smaug was there in that. Mm-hmm. Harry Potter, obviously, the fourth book, which is Harry Potter and the... What the fuck? What is it?
Goblet of Fire.
Goblet of Fire. Yeah. There you go.
Harry Potter and the what the fuck?
Yeah, so...
it's also a great book.
So in that they introduced 4 dragons. Well...
After building up dragons for a long time.
Yeah, because Ron's
did it
oldest
not feel
brother,
like an event to you?
It did. I didn't like that book when I first read it as much as I enjoyed... the previous one because
Azkaban in terms of story and tightness is the better book. I loved Goblet of Fire when I first read it. In later years, I recognized that it's not the best.
Oh, I had an opposite experience.
Really?
I didn't like it the first time I read it, and then as I went along, I was like, okay, interesting. I think the thing that lets it down is the very conceit that this boy... that's when I started to realize, that's my first reaction. I saw it to Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. I was like, how is every book something happening to him, man? Like, every year some shit has to go down.
He's the kid.
What's gonna happen now this time? Next year, what's gonna happen fucking then?
Well,
it's like, I know, but I'm just like, yo. And because there's this moment where the goblet, they painstakingly try to establish that putting your name into this goblet is very, very difficult. And there are only 3 allowed. And people have died doing this competition before. And they say, okay, 3 champions are selected. And then the 4th name comes out and it's Harry's name. And I'm just like...
Harry Potter!
I was like, what? And I was just like, okay, don't let him compete no matter what. She's like, no, those are the rules. I'm just like, shut the f*** up, dude.
Well, that's the magical world. Something comes out of the thing. So what if it's a tri-wizard tournament?
This is
We're having 4 people.
A quad wizard? No. I'm sorry. If this is the fucking guy who's going to bring balance to the force, don't send him into a competition that has obviously had people died before and you're going to get him killed.
Rules are rules. Here's my biggest issue.
This is the dumbest thing. I'm sorry.
The Goblet of Fire movie?
Yeah.
When Harry's name comes out, okay? Sure, terrible. But when it comes out, Dumbledore reads the paper and he goes like, Harry Potter!
Yeah, he shouts at him.
Exactly.
He's just like, what?
In the book, clearly say that the 3 wizards are chosen. Everyone's like, hey, yeah, congratulations, shake hands, like, let's party, and like, we're eating the foods and having the feasts.
Yeah.
At which point, suddenly, the goblet starts sputtering, and then this thing comes out, and then Dumbledore looks at it, ashen-faced, and silently says, Harry Potter?
Yes. Like, question mark, maybe?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he's like, what's going on?
This one straight up shouts at him. He's like, you asshole.
Potter!
I fucking told you don't do this.
Exactly.
Don't put your name in the thing.
Maybe that's a more legitimate reaction.
You still did it.
You still did it.
Richard Harris would not stand for this.
He should have taken it out and gone like, Harry Potter and what the f***?
That's exactly what should have happened. Cut to...
What do you think of the dragons in that book though?
So I think what's really nice is that I think
Here's
Charlie
the other
Weasley...
amazing thing that, Charlie Weasley...
is the one who is the dragon tamer, right?
Yeah. He works with dragons.
So
he's so much build up in the Harry Potter books because like right from the start, Hagrid talks about, man, someday we'll have a dragon. And then Charlie Weasley is whispered about as like just this really cool kid.
Guy,
he goes off and works with dragons. Then 3 books and years later, we go like, we're gonna see dragons in this book. It was
huge.
A moment.
It was huge. And the 4 dragons, obviously Harry gets the shittiest dragon.
What are the odds? Like literally they sneak out to see the dragons.
Oh, God,
and,
JK.
And Charlie says, man, this one, people don't want to mess with that. Gets exactly that one.
Yeah, I know. This is like... Jumbo King rolling.
Also, his way of defeating the dragon.
What is he? He uses his firebolt, right? Which he gets broom. in the last book or this book?
In the
last
book.
Yeah.
He has
because, I was really into that shit.
Sirius Black gifts him that firebolt.
Man, when he gets the Nimbus 2000, I was just like, yo, this is on. And then he gets a firebolt. I was like, yo, that's even better.
Yeah,
that's great.
It was it's the Rolls Royce of broomsticks.
We were into that. Like, I wish they made the broomsticks like a proper car kind of, fan hood. You
remember when Hermione rescues the remains of the Nimbus 2000?
Yeah, and you're just like,
crumbs.
Put that shit together, man.
Yeah,
remake that car. Pimp that ride. Where's Exhibit? Anyway,
anyway, he faced a Hungarian horntail. Yes. The other ones in that were a Chinese short snout and a Chinese fireball
and
a common Welsh green. These are the 4 dragons you got.
Like,
come on.
What are the least threatening sounding names? Yeah. Let's give those to the others. And what's yours?
You get Horntail. This one, common Welsh green.
This is how she names everything. Oh, the last book has to be the scariest? The Deathly Hallows. Okay.
The Scary Hallows.
The last one. The Dead Horror Hallows.
Alright, let's take a break since we've complained about Harry Potter enough and come back and talk about more dragons.
Hey everybody, welcome to another amazing week on the IVM Podcast Network. If you're not following us on social media, you know what? I'm tired of asking you to follow us. This time I expect you to follow us. Please make sure you follow us. If you're not following us, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. Seriously, I'm sure many of you would like that, but that's the only thirst I have. We'd also like to thank our sponsors of the network this week. Thank you Storytel, thank you Intel. We're really grateful for your support. On Advertising is Dead, Varun is joined by none other than Ranveer Alabadia, better known as Beer Biceps in the digital space, also the host of our short-lived podcast, Hustle Science. On Paisa Vaisa, Anupam is joined by Ashutosh Shrotriya, business head at Religare Insurance Company. They talk about health insurance and how to choose a good insurance plan. On the Empowering series, Zarina is joined by Ambar Qureshi, founder of the Plum Tree and former plus-size model. They talk about body positivity, self-belief, and the idea behind starting her own clothing venture. On Paperback, Rachita and Satyajit talk to Gyan Nagpal, the author of The Future Ready Organization. They discuss the new strategies that can make every element of an organization productive and how we can break the hierarchical structures within. On Heel and Hearty, Rachna is joined by 2 working professionals, Navaneel Kaur and Manvi Pathak, who talk about how to maintain a work-life balance and a healthy lifestyle. On our Kannada podcast, Thale Harate, Rohit Shenoy sits down with Ganesh Chakravarti and Pawan Srinath to talk about primary education in India and Karnataka. This week on Edges and Sledges, Ashwin, Varun and DJ talk about the India vs Bangladesh first day night test at Eden Gardens. On Golgappa with Trupti Khamkar, Trupti is joined by Indrajit More, content creator at Bhadipa and Bhatupa, who gives tricks and tips to travel on a shoestring budget. On the Filter Coffee podcast, Karthik is joined by angel investor, business and strategist Lloyd Matthias. Lloyd talks about the technological entrepreneurship space in India, things to look for potential investments, and how brands should be transparent with their communications in order to create a strong identity. On Mr. and Mrs. Binge Watch, Janice and Anirudh talk about the highly rated show this year, Succession. On 9XM Soundcast, Eva is in conversation with Bollywood singer Palak Muchal. She has lent her voice to movies like MS Dhoni, Ashiki 2 and Prem Ratan Dhan Payo. And with that, let's get you on with your show.
Hey, welcome back to the Geek Food Podcast. We're talking about dragons. Now, Tejas, tell me, have you read one Eragon, the book?
I have.
Or seen the movie?
I started reading the first book, but then I just fell short of it. I couldn't get into another fantasy thing at that age. It was also written by, once I found out Christopher Paolini was 15 years old when he wrote that book, I was like, yo, I ain't listen to this kid. I got my own stories.
I was actually given that book with that same little footnote by a person.
Have you seen Christopher Paolini's interviews? It's like he never got out of the house as a kid. He was just
I'm sure and then, he didn't.
He's like a proper nerd. And I mean, awesome. He wrote these amazing books which people love, and so fucking full respect and shit like that. But I was just then the movies. And then Joss Stone was in it. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
I need to go see this. And then I saw it. And then I was like, I shouldn't have.
Exactly. With the books as well, which I was given as probably a 15-year-old. I read Eragon and Eldeston. I didn't bother with Brissinger.
What the fuck? What did you say just now?
Brissinger.
What is that?
It's the third book. Eragon, Eldeston, Brissinger.
What is that word?
It's Brissinger.
Why do they do this?
I don't know, but
what is this, Tumblr or what?
Okay, my thoughts on getting Eragon were, first of all, it was written by a 15-year-old in a very evident way. It is really Lord of the Rings light in the easily digestible sense. And what annoyed me the most, as soon as I saw it, I was like, wait, You wrote a book about a dragon and called it E-Ragon? Because that's what you did.
Yep.
Laziest dragon name
No.
ever. Until
Laziest Drogon.
Until Drogon.
What's this one?
Drogon, Dragon, and James. This one's James for some reason.
Laziest name.
What are Emilia Clarke's three dragons? Khaleesi's dragons are called?
Drogon.
Correct. Named after? A dragon.
Khal Drogo.
Oh, correct, sure.
Then, no, of course, it's named after Khal Drogo.
So Khal Drogo is called Khal Drogo because he's fierce like a dragon. Is this true?
I don't know which came first, which is the egg or the dragon. But
true.
Drogon is named after him.
Yeah.
Then there's Lenny Riefenstahl. What is the last one's name?
Did you say Lenny Kravitz?
Riefenstahl. But anyway, no. What are the other ones? Drogon.
Boromir.
Faramir.
Drogon. Eragon.
No. There are two more, man. Come on.
There are. Who are they named after? What's her brother's name or her? Viserys. Viserion. Is that a dragon?
Yep.
My God, how
she ionized all of the names.
And there has to be a third one.
Yes.
Like, what's her dad or something? She named them all after important people.
But why her brother?
One after Johnny.
and Johnny. No. Come on. What's the last dragon's name, man? Come on. Oh shit. I'm gonna find out right now. Till then, you tell me about
Eragon, right?
Tell me about Eragon.
I felt like the book was okay. It was an enjoyable book, but in the light sense where even I, reading it as someone who's not super into like heavy fantasy, went like, this is fantasy for people who don't read Lord of the Rings. It was good. But I believe it became popular because it was an easily digestible form of fantasy written by a teenager, essentially for other teenagers. And it became one of those movies eventually that was capitalizing on a franchise that was capitalizing on the success of the first book.
Correct.
It was capitalizing really on the success of fantasy as a genre.
So it was just right place, right time.
I believe so. And the movies were poor because it wasn't a very good book to start with.
Really, it wasn't, huh?
I don't believe so, not in hindsight. In fact, it surprised me how popular it went on to become because I read it in like the first way when it came out.
Yeah.
And like years later, I'm looking at people going like, oh man, Brissinger is finally coming out. I'm like, what are you talking about? We're still reading the stuff?
Yeah, okay,
I read Eragon and I read Eldest purely because I was like, oh sure, yeah, cool.
Yeah,
I guess I read Eragon.
Yeah.
Oh, like what? Is there a creature called a Dildist in it now?
Wait, is there Eldest? What's Eldest? Who's Eldest?
I remember precious little about this book now, but basically the boy finds like a dragon called Eragon and then together they take over the world somehow.
Okay.
Again, testament to how poor this story was. It's literally like taking the tropes from a lot of fantasy things and mashing them together.
Well, but fantasy
I remember
does
there's also
reuse a lot of
involved
elements.
and the two of them run away in some way.
How is Avril Lavigne connected to this film? I know she is.
She is?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I think there's a song from this film or something. I have a feeling that there is something. But before that,
yes,
Drogon, Viserion,
sure,
and a Rhaegal.
Rhaegal, named
Targaryen.
after a Targaryen.
Yes, there is an Avril Lavigne song. Why don't you know? Keep holding on. I remember this song.
Okay. This song was on the Eragon soundtrack, you say?
It was.
Plus, so I never saw this movie. I heard it was
you
poor.
didn't see it? It
no,
comes
because
on,
I'd read the book
it's a Star
and I heard
Movies
it was
movie.
a terrible movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, why would I bother? I've already invested way too much time in this.
It's a Star Movies movie.
So I guess we're saying like dragons have issues.
Dragons are...
Who is in this movie? Joss Stone, you say?
Joss Stone. Jeremy Irons is in this movie,
What?
man. Yeah.
Who's Eragon?
I don't know, some kid.
No one. No, Eragon doesn't talk.
Eragon is the... Oh, who's the main character's name? What's the character's name?
Wait, wasn't Eragon the dragon?
No, I think Eragon is a dude.
Eragon's the kid or what?
I have no idea.
I might be wrong.
Okay,
It's
Shlok.
been like a long time.
Shlok
Anyway,
is...
unimportant. Let's move on to dragons we like. What's a dragon you like, man?
Sean Connery in Dragonheart.
I was just going to bring that up. What a great freaking dragon, no?
Awesome.
A dragon
with personality.
With so much personality because he's played by Sean Connery.
Yeah,
a dragon who, when he bends his neck, you can see the folds in like the latex.
But I thought that movie was just fine.
It was just fine. In fact, that might be one of the first dragons I remember.
Same.
And a property purely based on dragons.
Yes.
No?
And that was the only one of its kind, right?
I believe so.
Yeah,
and that must have been a one-off that wasn't
great.
Not based on any existing property and not...
a movie I used to not confuse
a
it with...
simpler time with Braveheart?
No, not with Braveheart. No, there was another movie, very different movie, called Reign of Fire.
Right.
Starring Matthew McConaughey. No, I think Matthew McConaughey or Christian Bale was definitely in that.
Mm-hmm.
Reign of Fire had dragons in it also. And I can't remember the movie too well, but you know, like dragons just being dragons, you know, like causing, stirring up shit, wrecking stuff.
Yeah.
Just doing basically what Smaug did to Lake Town. So, that's basically what Reign of Fire is about.
That's dragons doing as dragons do, man.
Yes, dragons gotta do what dragons gotta do.
I was just looking up the Dragonheart cast because I remember other people being in it. And man, Dennis Quaid,
yes,
David
Thewlis, correct.
Pete Postlewaite.
Oh, sweet.
Incredible. And did you remember, because I didn't, that the dragon in Dragonheart was called Draco?
Yeah, I think so.
I didn't remember that. Yeah. I do remember that he dies at the end and I felt like quite
Spoiler.
moved by it.
Yeah, it is. Because he's a very interesting, cool, nice dragon.
Yeah. He's a dragon who talks, let's be clear.
Yes. Also, dragons
Voiced
who
by
talk,
Sean Connery.
Way better than dragons who don't talk.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is Benedict Cumberbatch the Sean Connery of our times? Both play dragons.
This is true.
That's where it ends.
Both. I think Benedict does an amazing job as Smaug. He's so good, man. He's such a good actor.
Great, yeah. He hams it to exactly the right degree. It's not over the top. It's not funny.
No, I think the hamming is part of it. It's
exactly.
So good. Yeah, it's great. And
he leans into it in a great way.
Yeah, he also plays the proto Sauron in the movie, the Necromancer or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
He also voices that. So basically Benedict going like, and they reverse it and whatever, put reverb on it. But
you can do it with anybody voicing it, but fine, sure, yeah, Benedict.
But it was just like, let me just
exactly.
do it. But it's interesting because they both stand for the same thing. I like that. But yeah, I think Smaug is Dragonheart. What other dragons of yore? I'd say like old school 90s dragons. 90s dragons? Only 90s dragons will remember.
Reign of Fire had a dragon as well, right?
I believe that's what it was about. I may be completely wrong though. But just have a look. Let me know.
Shrek had a dragon.
Yes, of course, Shrek. Right? You're right. So Shrek's dragon is the dragon that is basically guarding the castle or the tower that Fiona, who the Cameron Diaz plays, lives in.
Yeah.
And ultimately, the dragon in that gets married to Donkey.
To Donkey, yeah, exactly.
And then they have
a loving relationship.
They have dragon donkey babies.
Yes, who are like basically little donkeys that sneeze fire all the time.
And have little wings and things.
There was a Shrek the Fourth, I want to say.
They were way more than we needed, is what...
There were at least 4.
There were at least 4 and at least 4... spin-off-y things like Christmas specials, if you will. A lot of those were there.
That's true.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Puff the Magic Dragon?
No, actually I haven't.
Heard a lot about it.
Yeah.
And I was like, what I'd heard about it in the general like pop culture ether was that it was like a stonery thing. But from what I saw, it seems to be like a children's-y thing.
I will tell you about I don't know much about it, but I will say there was one movie I saw recently because I've been meaning to watch. I missed it in the theater when it came out. Was Pete's Dragon.
Tell us about that.
So Pete's Dragon is based on the Disney movie.
Whose dragon is the movie about?
John.
Oh.
No. Pete's Dragon, a possessive pronoun.
I see.
So, kind of, not really actually. But anyway, Pete's Dragon is a remake of the animated movie from the 80s.
Right.
And that's a much different kind of story, quite different from what it was originally. That was like an animated / live action film.
It had that like 2D character dragon along with like a Roger Rabbit type situation.
Exactly, and it was a musical as well. This one is a straight up drama, children's film, and I watched it recently because it was on my list, literally on Netflix, and I quite enjoyed it. It was really, really well made.
Okay.
And it's about the last, or basically a dragon who lives in this forest, and a boy, Pete, comes across it, and they become friends, and he calls the dragon Elliot, and Elliot and Pete become really good friends, and they roam around. Pete is anyway somebody who doesn't get along with folks, and his family has like a lumber business, and they're cutting down trees from that forest, which is how they come across it in the first place.
Right.
And his dad's brother, I think, who's played by Carl Urban, becomes the antagonist of the film, who says, "Oh my God, there's a dragon! We must kill it. We must, take it." And
it is a concern.
And basically, it's about Pete taking care of this dragon, and it's great. It's a really sweet family film. Great soundtrack. Saint Vincent did a great song on this one called Something on My Mind, which is great. Something on Your Mind, sorry.
That does bring me to another... Actually, let's take a break.
Yes.
We'll come back and talk about a very similar movie.
But watch Pete's Dragon. It's very sweet dragon in it.
Remember the last vacation you took? What about the one you took 3 years ago? Okay, how much do you really remember? It's a question I've asked myself often over a decade of traveling the world. Hey, I'm Utsav and I do not travel the world for a living. I have a full-time job and responsibilities, but I have made traveling the world a priority. Priority enough that I negotiate extra leave in my job contracts, obsessively track my frequent flyer miles, and I'm willing to take off at the sight of a cheap ticket. Yes, I am cheap. I have lived and worked in 3 countries. I understand human behavior for a living. And these experiences have given me unique insights into places, people, and culture. With over a decade of travel behind me, I increasingly realized one thing, that we cannot see everything. So whatever we see, we must see deeply. Because as the film of memory decays, the imprints which will stand the test of time are the ones felt by the immersion of the senses, not by fleeting encounters with them. Postcards from Nowhere is an immersion into the world of slow travel, one story at a time. Tune in every Thursday on the IVM Podcasts app, website, or wherever you get your podcast from.
Hey, welcome back. You just got a stellar recommendation for Pete's Dragon, St. Vincent soundtrack. St. Vincent's like a musical dragon.
Yeah.
She kills it.
She's amazing.
It's always fire when she sings.
This is true. She's great.
A lumberjack dealing with a dragon is a bit of a dangerous situation, no? It's like a bull in a china shop type situation.
Because of the fire hazard with the wood.
It is
the natural fuel that is available for the fire. But I mean, this guy's not breathing much fire. He doesn't have any business dealing with folks. He's just like, it was I'll tell you what it was. You remember Bumblebee, the movie that came out that you liked and I thought was absolute trash?
I thought you liked average movies.
I do like average movies until they're real. I don't know what the line is.
It's a strictly average movie.
I love average films, but I think sometimes when it's like garbage, I'm just like, what am I watching?
Garbage, it's average.
Yeah, it's an average film, but I didn't think it was great. But I will say this, Pete's Dragon is an objectively good film. But it reminded me of Bumblebee in the fact that, there's a creature or a protagonist who is a gentle giant, very much in the vein of like Iron Giant as such. Yeah. So it was very much like that, and great movie. Bumblebee though, it left me wanting for something.
For what?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I hadn't seen a Transformer movie in ages, possibly not since like
Bumblebee,
I think.
You've seen Bumblebee?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's when I went in to watch Bumblebee. I saw it and I was like, sure.
Sure, yeah. It's a very sure kind of film. That's basically
like the soundtrack, like Haley Steinfeld was quite good in it.
But apparently she's being very very demanding according to Marvel sources.
What's she demanding? Marvel sources?
Yeah, because she was in talks to play Kate Bishop in the Hawkeye series.
Okay.
But apparently she's being very pricey.
So, good for her.
Yes. Well. Yeah. What do you think? Marvel runs the world?
Yeah.
No, it's girls.
Yeah. Haley Steinfeld specifically.
Yeah.
I loved her sitcom though. It was pretty good.
Which one was that?
Steinfeld.
Oh, well done.
It's the one where she goes like, what's the deal with
Bumblebee? Yes, you're right. Okay, good one.
Anyway, dragons that are traditionally seen as antagonists but then turn out to be good is also the plot, except for the giant part, of How to Train Your Dragon 1, 2 and 3.
How the did we forget that? That was
we built up to it, Tejas.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah, it's there in the title, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's that movie about?
It's not a How to Train Your Dragon.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not about that.
He never really trains the freaking thing.
He learns from it.
Exactly.
The training was inside him.
One thing that I thought was curious about that movie that grew on me was the odd design of the dragons.
Yes.
No, they're not your traditional they're very spiky-headed, angular sort of
so even
creatures.
In that movie, they have different species of dragons, just like the Hungarian haunted, etc. And
also an interesting distinction, and really helps with the world building because obviously there's going to be different species of a creature.
They Yeah, exactly. You're right. It's like having like pets, basically, right?
Yeah.
So specifically, in How to Train Your Dragon, Toothless is a very rare breed, and he is like as you know, his name suggests, he does not have any teeth.
Yeah.
But he's a very special, unique kind of dragon, and obviously forms a bond with Hiccup, who's the lead, played by Jay Baruchel.
Yeah.
And they form a bond, and their entire species are against each other. So dragons are against humans, blah blah blah. But they make it work. And
understandably so, because those dragons like come into the village and destroy it within seconds.
Man, it's crazy, dude. This movie is damn emotional. At the end, let me tell you, this is an animated film. He fucking loses his leg.
Yeah. Which makes him like Toothless. They both have parts of them missing.
It's crazy, dude.
It's fairly dark.
This movie was damn dark. And then in the second movie, spoilers, his fucking father dies. I'm just like, what? How is this a fucking kids movie?
It's really
1 second.
not.
I was watching Rogue One again the other night.
Yeah.
Last night, in fact.
Also a dark one.
By the way, I thought when I saw the movie, it was fine.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it when I watched it last night.
I thought it was good.
It's a really good movie. It has one of the realest conversations in the entire Star Wars, like, history of films.
Which one specifically?
So it's one between Jyn Erso and Cassian, where she's just like, oh, you were gonna kill my father. That was your assignment, and you lied. He's like, yeah, but did I pull the trigger? Did I do that? No, I didn't. She's just like, oh, you know what? That doesn't change a damn thing. He's like, oh, so suddenly now you're into the rebellion. Suddenly now, some of us have been fighting this war since I was 6 years old. Okay, I've been in this shit. I've done things that I am not proud of. Okay, just because I know there was a cause behind it. So don't you give me that bullshit. And she's just like, you can't talk your way around this. I was just like, hold on, what is happening?
Right?
This is an insane conversation. Like, what amazing dialogue.
There's so much depth there.
There's so much depth.
Like nuance that is thrown away in the Star Wars universe a lot of the time.
I've yet to see a dialogue like that in any film, except for probably the other real conversation, but slightly more, ambiguous, like very abstract, which is the concept of, kill the past, let go of the past, kill it if you have to. Great ideas in that, but this is the realist shit. This is like a war film anyway.
It really is.
And they went to Disney and they were just like, okay, everyone's gonna die in this film. This is a kids movie,
right? Yeah.
Everyone's gonna die, and very dark deaths. Okay,
there's no redemption of any sort.
Nothing.
Just like,
okay, you all die. And this is terrifying. They are hugging on a beach. It's like Deep Impact. Anyway, and
also, is this the only Star Wars movie with a beach?
Yeah, I think that's what it was like. People are going to die. He's like, fine, it cannot be set on Mustafar. It has to be on a sunny beach.
On a beach.
Anyway.
That beach was on the poster. They thought it was important.
Yeah. Dude, anyway, this is an incredible film that I'm only appreciating much later on.
From Rogue One to Drogon.
So, Drogon.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay. I was going to talk about... what the fuck was I going to talk about?
We were talking about How to Train Your Dragon.
How to Train Your Dragon. Second one, his dad dies.
Yes.
Okay.
Gerard Butler.
Who... Okay.
Like,
Gerard Butler, we should need to do an episode on his career.
Gerard Butler, Craig Ferguson, his mom is, what's her name? America Ferrara.
Yeah.
Right? That's his mom or like someone. She's someone in the movie.
But his mom, who has been dead from the beginning of the film, assumed dead.
Yeah, then is it his friend who's America Ferrara?
In the second film, she comes back very much in line with Ant-Man and the Wasp and Aquaman. Same thing.
Yeah.
Mom comes back wearing white. This is all three of those films, by the way.
It's true.
All right. And it's great. It's dark. I haven't seen the third one though. I need to watch it.
It looked How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World. I was just looking it up.
Yes, The Hidden World.
Looked very dark, no?
It's already dark.
Exactly. Like after the first two, this one, like the trailer that I remember seeing was just like, whoa.
A lot of kids grew up watching these films, like in the theater.
Yeah. They walked out of the first one and they're just like, man,
I'm a man.
Life gets you, huh?
Walked out with a beard.
You know who never grew up? Jay Baruchel.
Yeah.
He still looks like a kid. Like when he voices this kid, It sounds like a kid.
Yeah. I told you, right? The funniest thing about Jay Baruchel is that, that's how light the movie Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist is, that Jay Baruchel is the antagonist.
I know.
That's so funny.
Anyway. A sweet kid.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
I mean, he's like...
And he's in Knocked Up and stuff, right?
He's in Knocked Up. Yeah. He was in Undeclared, Judd Apatow's...
Yeah, he was in the Frat Pack, like, for a bit.
He was, yeah. I mean, he is in, like, This Is the End and stuff.
This is the end.
So he's part of that crew.
He's well part of it. Yeah. So good for him.
I think he does a lot of voice work as well now.
I will... yeah, he does.
I believe so.
Well, I mean, he's killing it with these.
Yeah.
So look out, Ben Schwartz. I will say, underrepresented, especially...
Among dragons?
Yes. And I think that's also the part of his plot in the movie.
Yeah.
Also, very offended that Christian Bale and Jimmy Fallon did not sing a song from this movie, Mulan, in their little medley.
Oh my God.
They didn't.
Yeah, why didn't they?
I noticed, by the way, guys. Anyway, and...
I mean, they had a lot of songs to do, to be fair.
That's true. And so did we when we did the Disney tribute. And yet we put 2 songs from Mulan. Anyway, the universe corrects itself. Mushu, played by Eddie Murphy.
Correct.
Is a dragon.
A great dragon.
But people keep thinking he's a lizard. And that's the good part of that story, where he's just like, I'm a dragon. And she proves it because she uses him to light a firework.
Exactly. And thematically very relevant to Mulan as well.
Yes. They're all about underdogs.
Exactly.
Yes. Great. He's not there in the new Mulan, the live action Mulan.
So Eddie Murphy has played a dragon and married a dragon, you realize?
Yes, you're right. Oh, Eddie Murphy.
My God, Dolomite is my name. Yes, Dragon is my name. And my wife.
That's great. A good catch. Yeah, that's great.
Interesting.
So, I mean, I love Mushu. He's so funny in that movie. It's like one of the most iconic. That's probably the first one I saw, actually, because it's still in the Chinese culture and stuff.
That's true.
Yeah. 1997, I want to say, something like that.
Yeah, but fairly early.
Yeah. How are you not going to have a dragon in Disney? Like, there are 3 dragons. We got Pete's Dragon. We got...
Pete's Dragon is a Disney movie, huh?
Yes.
I see.
Both of them.
I obviously both of them, yeah.
And Mushu. What was the third dragon?
What is the third dragon? How to Train Your Dragon is a DreamWorks thing.
You're right. And the dragon also makes a DreamWorks face.
Yeah.
He's just also like...
It really... Does Toothless make a DreamWorks face? That would make him so annoying.
No, actually, I think these are a few of the spared movies, I think. Yeah, though I don't have the look. I think Hiccup does have in some posters, but really he doesn't have any control over that.
Yeah, it's not his fault.
In the movies, he's quite expressive, and none of those are the DreamWorks face.
Let me ask you, let's say a final question.
Okay. All right.
Does a dragon have to breathe fire? Is it imperative to a dragon's life cycle?
Otherwise, it's just a dinosaur who can fly.
No, I mean, suppose a dragon can breathe fire. Does it have to breathe fire? Is it a part of its functioning? For example, if a dragon...
does it? No, I think it's like acid reflux for it.
Really?
I mean, like, it doesn't have to.
So it's not a weapon. It's is it like a bee's stinger where breathing fire takes something out of the dragon?
Oh, no, I think it's self-generative. Also, I think it's not like when a dragon exhales, it's just breathing fire, just generally.
Exactly. It chooses to breathe fire.
Yes, it chooses. But perhaps some noxious fumes. But otherwise, I don't think.
But if a dragon has very little reason to breathe fire, is that bad for the dragon?
Oh my God, totally forgot about this one.
Yeah, tell us.
Haku from Spirited Away.
Oh, of course.
Great dragon.
A great dragon.
Oh man, this is I don't know how we... Man, there's so many good ones in Ghibli.
There are so many Chinese dragons. This is the rare example, I suppose, of a dragon in Japanese pop culture. I actually, that is a very uninformed thing to say because I have no idea what Japanese pop culture is like.
Yeah, we're not completely clued in, but there is one thing that we have completely missed. One of our favorite movies from this year. You forget.
With a dragon in it?
Well, technically, yes.
Game of Thrones, the finale of the movie?
No. King Ghidorah from Godzilla.
Oh, my
King
God.
of the Monsters.
That's not a dragon, is it?
It is, apparently, because it is breathing fire. And so it's kind of a Hydra-ish dragon.
It's an alien,
Hydra,
isn't it?
Is that the one that comes... Is that the alien?
In the King of the Monsters,
that movie, there are supernatural beasts that are uncovered from the earth. And then they're just like, oh, but this one's an alien?
Yeah, that's why it's
come
different.
From somewhere else.
That's why we hate that one. That one's an alien. It came from outside the country.
When are we going to stop being racist about
other
planets? Where do we draw the line?
Like, we're just like, man, like, we let one of you and you brought 2 other heads along, huh?
Undocumented heads of your dragon. No, I think it's still part of the...
I mean, it's called Ghidorah. How far away is that from a dragon? Is Godzilla a dragon?
Oh.
He's a giant lizard, alright?
Well, he's a Komodo dragon, right? Remember 1999's Godzilla?
Correct.
They go and see Chernobyl and they see all the effects and all. And they were just like, what if radiation took one of these species
and blew it up?
Enlarged it to a point where it's probably unrecognizable but has its roots from those kind of... So yes, a Komodo dragon...
Is a dragon?
Dude, there are dragons on our earth. They exist.
Yeah, bearded dragans and Komodo dragons and monitors are kind of dragons.
And dragonflies.
Dragonflies?
Yeah.
A dragon does flies.
They exist and we're just fucking talking about fictional ones? What about planet Earth? Yeah. They exist.
Home to most dragons.
Yeah.
On planet Earth be monsters. And dragons is their name. Oh my god.
Are we missing out any other dragons? Hey, what about like... no, Pokemon doesn't count, does it?
Is it they're pocket monsters.
What is Charizard? Huh? What the is it, huh? It's a goddamn dragon.
Yeah, and it can char you. It's a dragon. A pocket dragon, really.
Sure, it's a pocket monster until it comes out and then it's a fucking real ass thing. Dude, it's a fucking dragon. It breathes fire.
Yeah, it's absolutely
It's got wings.
Yeah, 100% right.
Right. Yeah.
I agree with you. What is a Pikachu in that sense?
It's a
You can see like creature equivalents to a lot of Pokemon.
Of course.
A Pikachu is like a bear or something?
Dude, they're in Generation 8, let me remind you, of Pokemon, okay?
Huh.
And Generation 8, now they had to start like, they were building off like what we had already and now they're just like throwing away the like drawing board. They're just like, this chair is now got wings and it's a fucking Pokemon.
It's a Charizard. A Charizard, by the way, is clearly a charring lizard, right? Like it's a lizard that can char your things.
Oh, not Eddie Izzard. No, but I think...
The greatest dragon of all.
Yeah. I think you're right. Yes, obviously that they have those. But like, what the is a Mewtwo, huh? Oh, it's a cat.
It's a 2 cats.
It's 2 cats. Too furious.
What I'm saying is Godzilla is
a dragon, I think.
I think so.
I mean, like, he's come off of a
he
Komodo
breathes
dragon.
something. He breathes radiation. King of the Monsters. What is like when you hear that charging sound? It goes like...
No, and he's got like a fucking amazing like Moog synth sound that comes out whenever he fucking... Yeah, as far as I'm concerned...
You know the traditional marker of dragons, a Moog synth sound when they appear. As you read in like European folklore. And lo, a dragon appeared, carrying with it
A minor 7th. No, it's...
And low, it was gnarly and sick.
And it was low. Fine. Anyway, I just think Godzilla should be up there with the King of Monsters. I mean, he's the King of the Monsters.
King of the Monsters, man.
Was it King of the Monsters?
It was Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
Okay, I love it. I love that movie. Anyway, Godzilla vs. Kong next year. God vs. King.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's gonna be amazing.
But any other dragons that we're missing out on?
I feel like that covers most dragons. And there's obviously a lot more dragons in fantasy literature, but that is a vast and complicated world.
I found one which we haven't spoken about because we haven't seen the sequel. But have you seen Maleficent?
No.
Yeah, so it's all about that dragon, dog.
Correct. Tell me about Maleficent. How is the dragon involved?
I can't even remember it, but there's a dragon in it, and
she's Angelina Jolie.
It's like the Wicked of films, or like basically that she's wrongly presumed to be like, but she has a good side also,
right?
Because she's the titular.
But she has to go full evil at some point, no?
I think, like Wicked, it tells an alternate story. I haven't seen the sequel, so I don't know.
See.
But yeah.
But Maleficent, the story is purely about Maleficent, and it doesn't hint towards like the future story in any way.
The first one is the story. But I think I can't even remember it now. But yeah, I think it was like the story of Sleeping Beauty, right? And
what does the dragon do in there then?
I don't know. It's chilling out. It's in Sleeping Beauty, so yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
When?
Yeah, that's the scene.
Okay. Maleficent is a good name for a dragon as well.
But she is the dragon. That's the whole point, no?
Oh wait, what?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Maleficent
is the dragon.
Yeah, she turns herself into a dragon.
What is the story of Sleeping Beauty?
Yeah, Sleeping Beauty. She's, in the original cartoon I'm talking about, right?
Right.
she's the villain, so she becomes a fucking dragon.
I didn't realize she becomes a dragon. I thought she just she's defeated when when Sleeping Beauty is awoken by true love's kiss.
Hey,
thumbs up, everything's
speaking
cool.
of which, that's also Disney, and there's another Disney dragon which is played by Susan Sarandon in Enchanted.
Oh,
she's the witch in that,
correct.
And then she becomes a dragon at the end.
Yes,
with the worst dragon puns.
And that was taken from Sleeping Beauty. You think now that I think about it?
I think a dragon is a big part of the Master House.
Witches turning into dragons. I didn't realize.
Witches turning into dragons.
There must be dragons and saucers.
Witches be cray.
Well, no? Witches be cray. Witches be dragon.
Witches be dray. That's what we can say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good roundabout dragons, man. I feel like we hit them all.
I think we gotta catch them all at some point.
Yeah.
If we've missed out any dragons, though, please let us know. Mm-hmm. You who's listening to this episode.
What is your? I feel like we've covered dragons from great dragons to perfectly average dragons. I will say dragons as a concept I'm still a big fan of.
We have to make an alignment chart.
An alignment chart of the dragons.
Of the dragons.
Chalo,
chaotic evil versus... oh my god, yes, we'll do this.
Done.
Yeah.
Done and done.
And we'll see which are the good dragons.
I guess so.
There's the good dinosaur which I saw.
How is that?
It's a fucking great movie.
And the dinosaur talks.
Yeah, actually only the dinosaurs talk in that.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I saw it for the longest time and the trailers were mostly silent.
You know how people say that this is the weak Pixar film? They are right.
Yeah.
But did I cry in it? Yes.
They said this is the weak Pixar film. I thought it was the underrated one. Cars 2 is... Cars 3?
No, Cars 3 is great.
Oh, no, yeah. Cars 3 is the return to form. And Cars 2, yes, where it's mostly Mater's movie.
Yeah. And Ricky Gervais is in it.
Weird one. I still thought it was okay, but just not very memorable.
Yeah, not at all memorable. But it's just losing the heart of the story.
Yeah, and it's not... By Pixar standards, it's a failure. By
Good Dinosaurs was as well, but I thought it was fine. It's a very simple story. It's not as complicated. It's very it's more of a children's film if that was even possible.
So it's there's a dinosaur. It's good.
Yeah. Arlo. Very sweet film, actually. Very nice.
Dinosaur's name is Arlo?
Arlo.
I see.
Very nice. Good,
cool.
Good movie for kids, honestly.
All right.
I cried like a fucking... I was weeping through that shit.
And you think it was okay?
No, I thought it was great. I think it's very powerful. It's very emotional. It's a mix of Lion King and some other movies. It's got lots of roots.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's good. All right. We're going to do a dinosaurs episode. Hello.
Let's do it.
How have we not done one?
The natural pairing. Whenever you hear something and dragons, don't you think dinosaurs and dragons and nothing else?
And yeah, you're right.
Exactly.
We're going to do one episode only on the famous dungeons of the world.
Yeah, let's do it. This is a 3-part series. Part 1, dragons. Part 2, dinosaurs. Part 3, dungeons.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay, cool.
I'm sure there's famous dungeons.
Of course. Where do you think potions class
the dragons
happens?
live? That's true.
Yeah, potions class happens.
You're giving away stuff from our 3rd episode.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
okay,
nothing. Nobody said anything about potions. What are you talking about? Chalo, this episode's dragon. So.
Oh, God.
Alright, we will see you in part 2 when we talk about dinosaurs. Bye, you nerds.
How many times have you caught yourself Googling stuff on health and wondering if it's the right information? How many times have you heard different health experts give opposing views, which has only left you confused? There are rising cases of cancer, heart, diabetes, stress, and autoimmune diseases. Meet the patients and the experts who paved the path of true healing. Join me, Rachna Chachi, cancer nutrition coach and nutritional therapist on Heal and Hearty. I take you through my own journey of recovery from an incurable disease and the journey of so many others who healed only via nutrition and holistic healing. Find the answers you seek for what's good for your health and what's good for your soul. You can listen to us on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com. Don't forget your date with good health.
What do we have to do?
Welcome to Waterplay, you guys. This is the favorite sports podcast of several sports persons such as myself, Dudeja and Mikhail, who also happen to be the hosts.
Yes, you should definitely listen to our podcast for our take and quite a uninformed but hilarious take on sports every week. We give out awards. We discuss what happened in the world of sports, and
we take breaks as well.
We come up with jingles and sound effects on the go.
Yeah.
So you should definitely give us an example of a sound effect, Gureja.
Bolo Matthew Vade.
Yeah, tune in for some of that, bro. You can catch us on the IVM network every Wednesday on the go. On the Wednesday, in the Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. What a player. What a player, W. Wednesday, W.
Wow. Wednesday.
Wednesday to Wednesday. What a player, Matthew Vade.